Welcome back to the grand finals, finally, of Team Trios at Highlander Worlds. I'm Sam Loy. This is Dylan Kakawa. It's our pleasure to see you guys out of this event. I hope you've had a fantastic day, Dylan.
Oh, I've had a fantastic day. It's been so much fun watching these players play really tight and powerful Magic, and also just watching everyone have a good time and laugh with it all. So
Excellent. All right, so let's jump into our grand finals here. You guys will be familiar with this by this point, but Matthew Judas sits on your right, and on our left, it's Riley Bones Jones.
Riley Bones Jones. So we've got Thoracle versus Prowess.
There we go. There we go. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. Both decks can kind of kill on a very early turn. Jonesy, I think, has a deck which is a little bit more, I don't know, there's a bit more variance, a bit more volatility, but you know, the power's there. There's a reason Thoracle has so many points.
Yeah, it's a one-card win condition, and it's like you maybe need a few other pieces to work with it, but there's quite a few of them. So Judas's team getting to go first, as they're the higher seed.
They are the higher seed, yep. So Preordain, both to the bottom, but in a particular order, and we're seeing a hand stacked with just Prowess cards.
Yep, so Judas has got a Ponder, a Snow-Covered Island, Urza's Bauble, and an Unholy Heat, I believe.
Yeah.
So a few other cards to go with it.
And then Jonesy starting us off with a Verdant Catacombs for an Underground Sea.
Yeah.
A match made in heaven.
I mean, I'd say Polluted Delta into Underground Sea, but I guess that's not as versatile.
Nah, it's not as cool.
Not as cool? Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess getting to really showcase the fetch lands. So Bonesy leading us off with a Thoughtseize here, so Jude's going to reveal his hand for us.
That is a Consider on top.
As a Consider.
I know that because that's the one I own.
Okay, you got me there. So there's a Reckless Impulse Treasure Cruise as well to join this Unholy Heat and Urza's Bauble.
Interesting take here. I think that the Treasure Cruise or the Reckless Impulse probably just getting the power of the Treasure Cruise out. Hey, when you're unsure, take the thing that's worth points.
Yeah, that's generally a good heuristic. So Judas drawing the Storm Chaser's talent for the turn.
That sort of completes the missing piece of the hand. So we're into the threats, and we're getting down a little otter that's going to be a big otter if it's not dealt with.
Yeah, so those who've played a lot of Standard, I imagine, be very familiar with this card. It generates a 1/1 with Prowess and then has more on the back burner. So Judas getting to see a card at random in Bonesy's hand.
Yep, so we're Baublin.
Not showing us, but
Oh, that was mean.
it's fine. I'm going to see if I can snipe it.
I think this is all because I got Jonesy to pat down his head with tissues because it was too shiny.
Oh, I see. Oh, he saw the forest and plays the forest. So Brainstorm, Thought Lash, Thunder Trap Trainer in the hand.
Yeah, and we're about to look at the top four and pick a... Is it a non-creature?
I believe it is a instant or sorcery, but I will double check this. May reveal a non-creature, non-land.
I'm so good at this game.
And we find the Demonic Consultation, half the pieces of the combo we need.
Yeah, 50% and the cheap one.
Yep, it's getting eaten by an Unholy Heat here, which is going to put cards in Judas's graveyard as well, which is
it's interesting.
good.
I think Reckless Impulse is probably what we're going to see here. So Reckless Impulse, trigger the otter. Let's get through the library. It's a Vapor Snag, and it is...
Wooded Foothills.
Wooded Foothills, there we go.
So we're going to crack the Wooded Foothills and get another land.
Yeah, so I think we might see something like the Consider here, get in for 3 points of damage or so. The Vapor Snag's not going to do much in this game anyway, so it's an okay one to exile and not use.
Yeah, you don't necessarily need it, and you'd probably rather have it out of your deck.
Yeah, 100%. All right, so we're searching. We found the steam vents. We're going to shock, and we're going to consider our options.
Oh. See, one of the things about this Prowess deck is it wants both the Volcanic Island and the Steam Vents, which is one of the reasons the deck doesn't play 8 points, because it has cards like Gush and Fire Blast, and having 2 of these dual lands is just so powerful for this deck.
Okay, so we see the Consider here. Again, the sickest art of all time. And
Lorien reveal to the bin.
Straight into the bin, no problems. We've got a 3/3 otter as it stands. Bang.
Jonesy down to...
Now, I think if you're in Jonesy's
14.
spot, the fact that you've only taken 6 damage to this point, including the damage you dealt yourself, not too bad, actually, going just that turn.
Yeah, that's not bad. Jones as well has a Thought Lash and a Daze. So I think he's going to try and see if he can maybe find a tight window to leverage this Daze, but Prowess is pretty mana efficient.
Yeah, Force of Negation on the top. An important thing to know when you've got some card manipulation in your hand.
Such as this Brainstorm.
Yeah, it's like the Brainstorm, and do we keep it is an interesting question here for him to solve.
I think it depends on how scared Riley is, because if he's particularly scared of something big and impactful coming down, he wants to have access to that Force of Negation. for maybe a flow state, because this...
Yeah,
this-
so I think this is interesting. So flow state in both hands, we see the value of this card. It's been one of the best cards introduced with the latest set.
I think it is probably the best card from Secrets of Strixhaven for this format.
Yeah, 100%. I've heard good news about it going into the Pro Tour as well.
Yeah.
So
Judas picking up a Delver and a Mental Misstep from the flow state.
Yep.
Getting to go in for 2 damage, putting Jones to 12, and probably choosing to deploy this Delver here.
Yeah, I believe he may have already verbalized that he's going to do that. And then let's see what we're going to do. Delver of Secrets hits the battlefield.
Let's see if it flips the battlefield.
Hey.
So we're going to see a Brainstorm, presumably in response.
Okay, so
Picks
one
up
of the important things about this Brainstorm is that it is an instant and it turns on the flow state in Jonesy's hand.
Yes. He did already have the Demonic Consultation, but it's still always good to have more things in the graveyard for it.
Yeah, well, he's got the Consultation in hand, but he's got the Thought Seize in bin. So
I mistook those for a second.
yeah. I mean, they look very similar. They're both very cool-looking cards.
Both retro border as well, which is nice.
Hell yeah.
So putting the Spell Pierce back on top.
So no shuffle effect here. So going to have to stick with these cards, but Brainstorm does actually get you a card deeper. So even if you can't shuffle, it does get you through a little faster.
Jonesy taking another 2 life here, down to 10. I'm going to cast a Thought Lash.
Okay, well that is a decent job, does a decent job of stopping some of this aggression at the same time as doing some other things. Because Thought Lash exiles cards from the top of your library in order to prevent the damage, it is a little risky for him to use this turn. So I think in this turn we're going to see the Thought Lash maybe not do a whole lot, but next turn you can Demonic Consultation for the Thoracle, cast Thoracle, exile the rest of your library.
Yep, and that's a very powerful thing to be able to do. But Judas does have the Mental Misstep.
He does,
So
but
he
Jonesy
can-
doesn't know.
He does not. So Judas is hopefully going to be able to rely on that. But he also gets to have a Surveil out of this, meaning he also gets to possibly make his Delver flip,
Oh,
which is going to put in 4 points of damage just by itself.
let's see. Thinking. Not for long. It is Judas.
Or he Steel Cutter to the bin.
That's not instant or sorcery.
That's a very interesting one as well, because there was a Chain Lightning in Judas's hand, I believe. Does not flip the Delver as he draws a Scalding Tarn for the turn.
I think the other thing about Judas's line here is he has the Dragon's Rage Channeler in hand already. So in terms of threats, he's doing about as well as he ever does in a Prowess
Yeah.
deck. You know, you want maybe 3 at most. And here we see the Storm Chaser's talent activated, so level 2, and a Treasure Cruise perhaps being the target.
Yeah, so he buys back the Treasure Cruise and then chooses to cast it. He's just choosing what to exile now. Probably a couple of lands, things. He still wants to keep Delirium if he has access to it, and then maybe think about what cards might be relevant in his graveyard for other effects.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. So Judas in an interesting spot here. He has tapped out of mana, which means that the days in Jones's, yeah, here we go, is going to be online. Now, Jonesy could have kept that for the misstep, but he chose not to. He still has a few different ways of killing this turn, but none as consistent as we would have thought.
Yep, so he's choosing to prevent all the damage, exiling 4 cards. So this includes a Stock Up, Drown and Lock, Misty Rainforest, and 1 other card that's just gone off screen. So Thought Lash, got to pay the cumulative upkeep for this cost, which
Yep.
is remove the top card of your library.
Yeah, so exile a card.
Draw. Draws a Dread Fugue.
All right, so that'll give him a look into the hand and may reveal the misstep. I imagine that it's not really the priority right now. I think flow state is the way to go, and that's what we're saying here.
Yeah, Riley is trying to sculpt his hand to play around as much interaction as possible and just have a kill available to him. Trying to go off kind of like the last possible second if he needs to. So sees a Dismember, a Quantum Riddler.
Which member?
Dismember.
So a few ways to get ahead on cards, a few ways to interact with threats. Dismember, at this point, it's a little weird. So if you're thinking about the fact that Judas has a main deck pop, that is something that you may devalue. But I think the removal is actually just very powerful, and you don't need this Quantum Riddler is what we're seeing here.
Yeah, so the other card he's kept is Lorraine Revealed, which will mean that he can find another black source if he so needs to.
So we've already made our land drop this turn, though, so we're prepping for next turn. Dread Fugue enters play. He's going to have to take the Dragon's Rage Channeler here, but the important thing is that we know about the Bloodstained Mire and the Mental Misstep.
He gets to take the
no,
mental
you can take
misstep.
it. I'm so sorry.
He gets to take the mental misstep, which is what he wants to do because he has the demonic consultation. So he knows that next turn he can go off. And Judas not flipping again. Looks like he's drawn an Arid Mesa. Yeah, so Judas in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, with perfect information.
Chain Lightning to the face.
Chain Lightning. Bang.
Jonesy thinking about how many cards can I afford to mill, and I think he can just afford to take the 3 here.
Yeah, well, you know, he has perfect information other than the card draw on this turn, so it would have to be something pretty crazy.
So as long as he doesn't hit this Thoracle, Jonesy is in the clear. He will have to pay more with this Thought Lash for the cumulative upkeep.
Yeah. So I think between the Thoracle and the Jace Wielder of Mysteries and the Lorien revealed, both are valid lines here, assuming that Judas didn't draw a counterspell, which you're pretty sure of because the Delver did not flip.
Yeah. Judas could have chosen to not reveal it in case he really wanted to try and spike something. But
that would have been a very high-level play and something I am very interested in.
Have you made that play before?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Did it win you the game?
I cannot remember.
Oh, I would remember that play if I'd made that play and won the game.
I think I was so obsessed with making the play that I didn't realize the result of the play at all.
Yep. So losing the...
Going to the dust and into the Floodmoor. Island hits the battlefield. Another land drawn for turn.
So we have the Demonic Consultation. And we're choosing to play around.
Ooh, interesting. So holding off again. There's not that many resources on Judas's side of the board. So I think there is the opportunity to play around quite a lot of stuff here. After checking with the Delver, though, Judas has chosen to shuffle his library and get rid of the undesirable card, whatever it may be.
Yeah, which is another secret mode of Delver that you get to check your library before, and this is why fetch lands in the upkeep are more a staple of the Legacy format in general.
Yeah, it's amazing stuff. All right, so a little shuffle for our players, and then we'll get back into the action. How do you feel about Jonesy not going for it during his turn? Because you can consultation at instant speed, right?
You can, and he can do this end of turn, and I think he just maybe wants to leave open this Force of Negation and Spell Pierce, and then just go for it in the next turn, where he has the ability to cast Thoracle and Force of Negation.
Okay, so we see a Duress. And is Jonesy going for another one? He does.
Takes no damage, just has a gut shot in hand.
So cumulative upkeep 3.
Choosing not to fire off Demonic Consultation end of turn, revealing Undercity Sewers, Marsh Flats, and Preordain as the mill. Draws the Bloodstained Mire for the turn, so the window should be clear for him, but he's still not sure. He doesn't know what's in Judas's hand and paying full respect to him.
I'll tell you what that speaks of. It speaks of Judas's aura.
The Judas aura.
The Judas aura. You never know when you're going to get moved.
He does play very, very tight in those regards and doesn't give a lot away.
He does. I mean, having played against him enough times at high stakes events, it does feel like he's always got everything, which he definitely doesn't. But I don't know. It's something.
Okay, reveals a Git Probe off the Delver because Riley has chosen to pass the turn again. And paying for the Git Probe.
Yeah, so this is representing 5 damage now. Riley down to 7 life. So in a problematic spot, I would say.
Okay, so it's revealing the Consultation, Flooded Strand, Force of Negation, Spell Pierce, and Dismember.
Yeah, so we're pretty protected against something like a pop or a lightning bolt or something like that. But we are going to have to go for it at some point.
Yep, and Judas representing a lot of damage here, and the gut shot would make it lethal as well.
Oh, we love ourselves a gut shot.
Oh yeah, it's a fantastic card, and we've gone Gush, floating 2 mana and casting Gush.
We love to see it. We absolutely love to see it. This is looking like it's going to earn the Force of Negation back. Before we get to that, though, we're going to fetch our Bloodstained Mire.
Yes. We just don't want to make sure we can play around Price of Progress or other things.
Yeah,
and just make sure we have
swamp.
that mana. Yeah, mana all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Nice tight play. Just sequence that correctly before you do it. So it looks like we're probably paying the mana value rather than the exile a blue card alternate cost.
Yeah, we still want to have the Spell Pierce, especially because Judas does have a lot of mana. We still maybe have to tighten it up. It just gives us options for a few other things as well later down the track, even if we do end up in a really tight situation.
Okay.
So Muddle the Mixture go into the bin.
Yep. That's the Jace Wielder of
Jace
Mysteries. Okay, so this is no longer free. Okay, we're actually going to pay the normal cost on the Dismember here. So we're going to prevent 3 damage, so no life total change, but a cost was paid.
Judas as well getting to play the Thundering Falls that he picked up with the Gush. Always good combo.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 cards, 1 Shi-Tong among them.
Quantum Riddle of the draw for turn. Ooh.
Interesting stuff.
That kind of makes me wish I pissed Spell Pierce now.
Yeah. Well, you can always, go for some stuff and Riddler is back up, but it looks like it's just getting hard cast here, and we're going to draw some cards.
Yep, well, this Riddler does get to just block this Delver for the rest of the game.
It does invalidate it quite easily. So while the Thought Lash has gotten to a 4 cumulative upkeep, it'll be exiling 5 cards next turn. The board state has been stabilized.
Yeah, so just looking in a bit of a tight situation here. This Thought Lash is going to be very hard for him to get through. So he plays a Mishra's Bauble. Looks at the top card of his library.
Yeah.
And plays the Iron Mesa. Yep, chooses he doesn't want it.
Yeah, we'll say the top of Judas's library hasn't been particularly kind to him in this game, although we have seen it do him wonders in others.
Yeah, it's like any sort of game of variance. There's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days, and like
Absolutely.
these players have had good days getting this far. And
Yeah, if you are in this game, you've had a good day.
And it's not just that they're getting lucky; they've played really well all day. We've seen Judas on coverage, we've seen Riley on coverage. They both played very well today.
Very tight. Riley sticking with the face mask, doing the polite thing, trying to intimidate a little bit with it. He looks like Shredder, actually.
Oh, yeah. The thing is, he doesn't want to give anything away with his smile. So Judas draws a mutagenic growth off the bauble. So the Thought Lash now getting rid of Inquisition.
Rakshas's Bargain.
Brain Surge.
Brain Surge and a Spell Snare and a land. So
Beseiju in hand for Riley.
Interesting stuff.
Draws for turn, draws the Oracle.
Okay, so whichever way we want to do it, we're probably online now. So no issue with a counterspell on a non-creature, but if this Thoracle gets countered, Riley's got some problems.
So Thoracle trigger on the stack, we're just going to exile our library, and Judas packs it up.
Okay, there we go. I think in this case, Jonesy could have gone for it a little bit earlier, but really valued the safety. The Thought Lash there preventing a lot of the aggression from Judas's side of the table. So Jones goes up 1-0.
Yeah, I think Jonesy might have been playing around Price of Progress and then in having to cast the Demolition Consultation, and then in response, Judas casting the Price of Progress, and then Riley having to mill a lot of cards and then potentially like losing out on it.
Yeah, so having the ability to have both parts of that stack go is pretty good. They're going to move to sideboarding now. Both lists are, pretty standard. We've got our Blue Elemental Blast, Carpet of Flowers from Bones, and some other stuff that I think I would like in the Prowess matchup, like perhaps a Doughty Voidwalker would go, a long way.
Yeah, Doughty Voidwalker is stopping cards entering the area. The problem is it is a bit of a liability, as it is weak to any sort of burn spell that Judas is keeping in and such. So we'll just flip over to this game now, where we've got Trent Clark on the left playing Eldrazi versus Stephen Hitchcock on Grixis.
Yeah, we call this, by the way, here we call it Shop, because you can't play two.
I guess, yeah, that's a fair point. So Grixis versus Shop.
The Shop, yep.
And then, so Psychic Frog here, putting on a lot of pressure. We've got a Chalice on 2, an Expedition map, and a Shadow Spear, I want to say.
Yeah, I'll just have to go with you on that one. I'm not familiar with the print.
I don't. It does have an equip cost, and I don't think there are any other equipment which the deck plays. So attacking with both, pitching the Orcish Bowmasters to the Psychic Frog as the Chalice is on 2, so it's not coming in anytime soon.
Yeah, I think it's pretty free to pitch.
Yep. And then we get to cast an Energy Flux.
Well,
oh!
Now the Bowmaster feels like it actually...
I mean, we might have drawn the Energy Flux.
Yeah.
So like, this Merc Shop can't pay
true.
for the Energy Flux because you can only use it the mana to cast artifact spells.
Yeah, there's no answer there. We've gotten some updates as well. So on our other table, Jim Wilkes is up 1 game. So the Bus Stop boys, the Brag Stop, are feeling like they're in the lead in this match overall. But in this game...
I think this is game 2 and Trent's up 1.
Yeah, okay. So... Trent holding it down, Relic of Progenitus with a couple of artifact-only mana floating. Let's see what comes off the top.
Tropical Island, we have Ugin in hand as well. We're a fair bit away from that one.
Yeah, but, making the land drops, I think if you, stop making them, you're in a lot of trouble here. So making your land drops, getting closer to that, maybe getting a play out next turn. This deck does have a lot of low mana and a lot of high mana. If his hand's full of high mana, you got to make those land drops.
Yeah. And this Energy Flux is going to tax any sort of ramp that he might play, because he can't afford to keep it around, and it's going to be real difficult.
Yeah, 100%.
So we see a Ponder here with a Ledger Shredder, Brainstorm, and I think a Corey Steelcutter.
Yeah, okay, it's a good amount of cards. I think the Corey Steelcutter has a certain lack of synergy with the current board state, but...
Yeah, so we're going to give it a shuffle.
Yeah.
Don't want those at the moment. We're just looking for counter spells and kill spells. hand disruption basically at the moment.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
trying to keep him off and ride this frog to victory.
Exactly. So one of those classic tempo positions that these board states can get to from the Grixis side. Okay. We've got our random card. We've got an expressive iteration. And I'll tell you what, we're going to iterate expressively.
Sam, you once told me that you never had a favorite card until expressive iteration got printed.
Well, yeah, basically. I think it was a card that really fit into my mindset. I mean, the previous favorite one was Berserk, but mostly because I couldn't afford one when I was a child.
Ah, fair enough. And can you afford one now?
Yeah, I got one.
All right. Did you go berserk over it? And did you get it from Secrets of Strixhaven Mystical Archive?
No, I got a beta one.
Oh, that's way cooler.
Yeah.
All right. So Stephen as well has a Price of Progress in hand. So the EI hit a tropical island, which he's chosen to play as his land turn. We're discarding a Dismember and a Wooded Foothills to really get this frog in.
Yeah, we don't have our life totals available here, but knowing Stephen, this is going to be cards pitched to increase the clock and finish this game out faster. So a Dismember's not doing a whole lot into this board state. Wooded Foothills, presumably unnecessary, as well as getting this game done.
Yeah. And Trent keeping his cards close, flicking them very fast. I think I saw a stock up. I'm not sure if it's in his list, but I think I saw one.
Yeah, possibly. Let me check for you, mate.
All right, so while this is all going on, Steven still has his graveyard as a bit of a resource that he can use as Deathrite Shaman for extra reach, because this Relic of Progenitus has already been used.
Excellent stuff. Yeah, there is a stock up in the list. There are a couple of other things that could plausibly be, but the stock up would be very useful if that, workshop tapped for normal mana.
I mean, if the workshop tapped for normal mana, that card would, oof.
Off the chain.
Off the chain. Abstergo Entertainment. So is 6 mana here? Is this Wormcoil? No, this is a Thunderhawk gunship.
I'll tell you what, if you want Space Marines and you want them fast, this is your ride of choice.
All right, so this is from the 40k decks, the 40k commander decks. 6 mana when it enters, create 2/2 Astartes with Vigilance. It's got Crew 2, and when it attacks, attacking creatures you control gain flying to the end of turn. And most importantly, this card has flying, which means it's going to be able to block the Psychic Frog if it so needs to. Because I don't think Trent wants to be paying the 2 mana to keep it around if he needs to.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to leave these guys to it. There's a few more interactions to go, and let's cross back to our other match.
All right, so players dealing up for their opening hands. Judas being on the play again.
Yeah, how lucky, being on the play twice.
I think that's not lucky the second time. The first time, yeah.
Okay,
but actually, you think about it, the first time it was skill, because they were higher seed.
Yeah, 100%. All skill. No luck.
All skill. So Judas sending it back. Bonesy at the moment looking at his hand. There's a Git Probe, among other things.
He seems contented at least. So it looks like a Brainstorm, a couple of other blue cards that, maybe we'll get a better look at.
Verdant Catacombs, Wan Shi Tong.
Spell Pierce.
Spell Pierce.
And that might be Brain Surge?
Yeah, Brain Surge and probably a Polluted Delta or Marsh Flats.
Yeah, hard to see completely, but hey, stocked full of blue.
Stocked full of blue.
I heard that's a good color.
Yeah, it is. And Judas has a Red Elemental Blast and a Daze. Thundering Fall the lead. So the other cards he's got in hand are a Volcanic Island, a Preordain, and a Slickshot Show-Off. So he's going to try and go in with his Slickshot Show-Off. However, Riley has just drawn the Baleful Strix for turn.
Ooh, tough.
And consider the draw for Judas. And
okay,
plots the
Slickshot. Being plotted. Judas, he's a known plotter. Not such a schemer, but a bit of a plotter.
I mean, it's only a matter of time until we have a new thing with schemes, which aren't the Arc Enemy ones.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look, if I get to play a schemes and plots deck, I'm going to have to read The Prince.
Plotting and scheming. It's just like Bolus. He's always plotting and scheming. And
well, see where it got him, though.
I mean, we've got a lot of Grixis.
That's true. That is true. Okay, so Brainstorm here as the end-step play from Bonesy. 3 cards to hand, and it's a Daze and Abrupt Decay, and it looks like
Hedge Maze.
Hedge Maze. So you don't really want the Hedge Maze here. That one seems to be the one that's not going to get drawn for turn. Just a tapped land in a handful of things to do.
So chooses to keep the Abrupt Decay. Gets the ability here to play a fetch and give himself the most versatility, because...
we might lead on the Git Probe here.
Leading on the Git Probe is reasonable as long as you don't care too much about drawing the Hedge Maze. If you need something else, maybe go digging a bit more, but I think this is completely fine.
Yeah, well, it's plausible that you want to make your 3rd land drop on time, right?
Yeah, absolutely, especially with one of your lands that's coming into play tapped. You want to possibly play it this turn. So Bones got the option here of leaving open 2 mana, or playing the Hedge Maze and leaving open 1 mana. So, because he has the Spell Pierce and the Daze, he is probably feeling a little safe right now. Scalding Tarn on top chooses to keep it on top. So Bonesy looks like he's trying to play a bit of a longer game here against Judas and play a bit more control style.
That's not what this Slick Shot's about, though.
No, we're going to see a Preordain. And are we going to see it met with a Spell Snare?
Yeah. Oh, a Spell Pierce even.
Spell Pierce, sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. Okay, so looks like it's going to resolve. So we have a 3-2 Slick Shot, a couple of cards to look at. If you're in Judas's position, I imagine you want to make your land drop. You want to cast a bunch of spells. It's basically always the same for this deck. It looks like he's kept the land, put the Delver on the bottom, and we have a Scalding Tarn into play.
Yep, so now Judas has the ability to Brainstorm as well, and then sack it with the Scalding Tarn, getting rid of the cards, which is really useful as well because of this Wan Shi Tong in Riley's hand, which Judas doesn't necessarily know about, but I'm sure it's in the back of his mind.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's one of the cards that when you read through that deck list, it's one of those mid-rangey threats that you can, do for a couple of
So we got the Spell Pierce on the Brainstorm here, and let's see if Judas fights over this with the Daze.
Ooh, interesting stuff.
So if he chooses to fight over it with a Daze, it gets more triggers for it, and then Riley can choose to Daze it right back and force Judas to crack the fetch land, but I think he rather have the protection instead for like this red elemental blast and everything
Fair
else.
enough, but a mental misstep into hand.
Such a good draw.
Crazy.
So one of the cool things about picking up the Volcanic Island with this Brainstorm is you can put it back on top of your deck and get it out of your deck when you shuffle with the Scalding Tarn.
Yeah, so this is going to depend on the makeup of Judas's deck. Does he want that Volcanic Island to go back into the deck? Does he want a basic? It looks like the basic went back in, so maybe he's after an island here.
Yeah, and that Slick Shot show-off as well. Gets
7 power.
7 power.
Yeah. Craziness. That card goes off hard.
Oh, yeah. I love a good Slick Shot show-off. It's definitely one of my favorite cards they've printed in recent times.
I think we did that set together as an open, actually.
I think so. Yeah. It was a good time.
Yeah, fun times.
So we've got a Triton Wavecaller being bestowed onto this Slick Shot show-off, which is going to buff it as well as give it the prowess, which is fantastic because it means it's going to increase the amount of damage it's capable of doing. But Riley here, I think he's going to go with this Abrupt Decay and take out the Slick Shot show-off. It will leave behind the Triton Wavebreaker, leaving Judas with a threat still, but it means that it's way less scary than a Slick Shot, because Slick Shot effectively has double prowess at, 100%. At the extent of toughness.
Yeah, 2-3, gets bigger both ways.
Oh, yeah. So Riley as well getting to sack the Scalding Tarn end of turn, meaning he's going to get a Surveil land here. Just shaping his draws a bit more and really working towards, comboing off.
Yeah, in these last two games, we've really seen Jonesy value developing his mana, but also developing his hand through things like those Surveil lands, like through Patience.
Yeah.
Which worked out for him very well in game one.
Yep. So we have a Baleful Strix, the play from Riley. This gets to block the Triton Wavecaller and, more importantly, trade with it because it has Death Touch. Demonic Consultation, the draw.
Okay, so we got news from one of our other tables. Stephen has 1-2-0, which means that the Bus Stop team is up a match.
Oh, that's it's good for them.
It is, but it's only 1 point.
It is only 1 point, and Judas maybe not looking in the best position this game so far.
Yeah.
He's not looking in the worst, that's for sure. He has wins, but Jonesy's hand is shaping up to be quite scary.
Yeah, we're starting to get to that point where any extra draw by Jonesy is representing the potential of a threat as well as the mana to sculpt your way to that threat.
So we have a Sprite Dragon here from Judas, or a Doran Perfect Pet, as it's sometimes known as in the Godzilla universe.
Yeah.
So this thing is a Flying Haste. Whenever you cast a non-creature, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on it, but it gets traded with quickly by the Baleful Strix.
Quickly blocked.
Yeah, because this thing isn't prowess, this thing is permanent prowess.
Yeah. It's a dangerous threat if it can stick around. 2 mana is a lot for a prowess threat these days with card design, but that one's very, very good.
Yep, so Riley playing the flow state here, which he's going to get to see 3 cards. Sees the Hydroblast, Thassa's Oracle, and Dismember.
I'll tell you what, he probably doesn't want the Dismember.
No. He already has a Fatal Push for this Triton, so he's in a really good spot of controlling this board, and Judas does not have a lot of threats right now.
Yeah, just the one prowess creature, although that is enough when Riley's on 8 life points.
It certainly can be. So we're going to see an expressive iteration here get met with a Fatal Push to the Triton, so before we can do anything. So we're going to Mental Misstep the Fatal Push back.
Ah, there we go. So, unfortunately for Jonesy. The Volcanic Island's still untapped there, and the Daze is not going to be protection.
No, and so we see a Consigned to Memory, Bloodstained Mire, and a Delver. Delver's going to the bottom, and we're going to play this Bloodstained Mire as our land for turn.
That is the second time the Delver has hit the bottom of the library in this game.
That's where it belongs. Delver would be a very strange card if it did look at the bottom card of your library.
That is true.
Because it probably doesn't change much.
I mean, you can stack it.
You can do all sorts of things with scrying to the bottom or shuffling your library, but it would make for a very different card.
Yeah.
All right, so Riley in a bit of trouble here now. He's on 4 life. So this Triton is looking kind of scary, and there's always the looming threat of Price of Progress.
Yeah, so Judas still keeping the Consider in hand, still got the Red Blast in hand. A lot of protection, a bit more filtering, still opting to keep the mana up, knowing that one of the avenues to his demise will be tapping out.
Yes, and Riley does have the combo in hand with both Thoracle and Demonic Consultation, with both a Hydroblast to back up to hit the Red Blast and a Daze.
Okay, so let's see how this goes, because we are going for it.
So in response to the Thoracle, Judas cracks the Bloodstained Mire, getting a a Steam Vents, I imagine, here.
Yeah, it's interesting. Thundering Falls also counts as a mountain, so a lot of choices. Snow-Covered Mountain being the one that Judas has opted for. I imagine we might be seeing the Red Blast here.
So with the trigger on the stack, so Red Blast the Thoracle, Hydroblast the Thassa's Oracle, Demonic Consultation. Demonic Consultation is, I imagine, going to resolve. And then Consign the trigger, and then Daze the Consign, and that is going to be...
All right, it's going to be a judge call. Let's be sure.
I think just is looking at the quality of the sleeve of that card. He was looking at it earlier in the first game. I think he's noticed something might be up with it. So he's just getting a judge to check it and make sure everything else is there.
Yeah.
While this is happening, why don't we go over to Jim and Dom?
Yeah, Jim and Dom is the other match that we have going here. If that one is going the way that we are going, we are tied up 1-1. So let us see what is happening on this table. Okay.
So Dom here with 3 lands in play and a Mishra's Bauble.
Yep. So Dom on our Grixis list.
And Jim here with a Baleful Strix, 3 lands, a Plateau in hand and 1 ring, and 1 other card.
And we see some cards in the graveyard here. So we've gone through a Corey Steel Cotter on Dom's side, meaning that, there has been some effective trading of resources done there.
Yeah, like a Blue Elemental Blast has probably hit this Dragon's Rage Channeler. There's been a Thoughtseize, which looks like it might have hit a Stock Up, and a Duress that looks like it's hit a Lorien Revealed against Dom. So even a Dreadfugue, which looks like it maybe hit the Seal Cutter. So a lot of exchange of resources and back and forth, trying to grind this game out over time.
All right, so Mishra's Bauble. We have had a look at the top of Jim's library. Let's get that extra card.
So Dom with only 2 cards in hand. Jim's going to hit his 4th land drop and have the ability to play the 1 ring if he so decides to jam it into 3 open mana. But getting in with the attack first, putting Dom down to 15.
Yeah, so Baleful Strix. Hey, it's not all the damage in the world, but it is some.
It is damage is the thing. So Dom's Ear's hand at the moment is a Delphi Voidwalker, which he cannot cast as he only has 1 black source, and a Lightning Bolt, which is not looking at its best right now.
Yeah, so 1 ring hits the battlefield. We have protection going on, and looks like we're going to draw the card.
Judas won that game. Nope. Sorry, no. Yep.
Okay, so we are tied up at 1-1. This is our deciding match. I believe that Jim Wilkes is up a game here.
Yep.
So if Jim is able to win this, he'll take it down for the team, defending against that Dom.
Yep, and not only that, winning back-to-back World Team Trios Highlander.
Well, if that does happen, I'm sure we won't hear about it.
I mean, we'll hear about it again next year when they win it again, if they do.
As you guys might be picking up, Dylan is on this same team.
Oh yeah, I'm very, very biased in this regard of who I'm rooting for, but
fantastic stuff. Okay, so it looks like we have a counterspell in Dom's hand in addition to that Lightning Bolt. So, a combination of cards you're normally really happy with, but this board state is getting out of control. This 1 ring is drawing all the cards, and Jim is trying to close this out with either a combo or, hey, let's go end-to-end with his Baleful Strix.
Yeah, because Dom doesn't have to, doesn't have a combo kill effectively ready to him. Jim can just grind out the deck that Grixis is trying to do, and like beat Dom at his own game effectively.
Exactly. So this is one of the really powerful things about this Breach deck. With Enlightened Tutor going to 0 points, it has become a split mid-range and combo deck with excellent game plans at doing both.
Yeah, and the best thing about it is that the mid-range pieces tend to overlap with your combo pieces. As we saw previously in the last round, like Emperor of Bones getting back Loris and then comboing off from that.
Good
like,
stuff.
This is all the kinds of things you can do in this deck, and there's so many different lines and avenues to kill your opponent.
Yeah, and I'm sure Dom's aware of most of them. I know he played this deck maybe 3 or 4 years ago for a little while. You know, he hated it. But at the same time, the deck's changed a lot. So I'm sure he's familiar with some of the internal mechanics of that and is keeping good track of things like the graveyard count and what the options may be from Jim. Yeah,
the deck's mid-range plan has certainly been a lot more refined over the past couple of events and has really started to come together. So Jim just jamming out a Quantum Riddler here is going to get met with a counterspell, and I think Jim is probably okay with this trade. It's not ideal because it is like his biggest threat, but getting that counterspell out of hand does open the avenue of potentially combo killing.
Yeah, and I think from Dom's side of the board as well, that you just have to do it. There's no way that you're going to be able to beat this One Ring, this Baleful Strix, and another 4/6 flyer. It's just going to close you out too quickly given the lack of resources you have available. We want to play more turns. We want to draw more cards.
So Jim's way he loses at the moment is by dying out from this One Ring trigger. And
he's got a Teferi in hand, though. So one of the secret modes of Teferi...
bounce the One Ring.
You can bounce your own One Ring with it. So if it gets too dangerous, we do have that backup. I imagine that because of that, though, the Teferi becomes a really valuable piece here. It also turns off counterspells from Dom's side of the board. So what we would like to do is make sure that we have protection when we're developing that piece onto the board.
Yep. So Dom does have a Lightning Bolt, which means if this Teferi does roll down on this ring, then Dom's going to be able to Lightning Bolt the Teferi next turn and get it out of the way and turn back on his counterspells. So Jim very wisely here playing the Teferi before ticking the One Ring up.
Yep.
Or drawing with it, just in case things start to happen, maybe like an Orcish Bowmasters, even though Dom can't cast it. Jim's just playing good fundamentals.
Yeah, I think some of these things, it's better to know the answer than to ask about the board state sometimes, right?
Yeah. So Jim's got a Seam Rip in hand, a Brainstorm, Git Probe, Red Elemental Blast, I think a Brain Freeze as well.
Yeah, so Seam Rip will answer this Deathrite Shaman. One of the things that can get Dom back into this game is fixing his mana problem. And, you know, Deathrite Shaman, a famous mana dork.
Oh, not just that, attacks Jim's graveyard as well, takes Jim's life, and does quite a few things.
Yeah, it slices, it slices, it's banned in Modern.
Yeah, so Jim's big question here is, I think, does he want to fire off his Git Probe? And usually the answer is yes.
Yeah, I think in this case the information's worth more than the life, especially with the Teferi to manipulate your life further. Well, effectively manipulate your life further. I think it's a good place to be.
Yeah, so Jim's drawn the Corey Steelcutter off the Git Probe, which he's not going to be casting this turn, but definitely casting next. Well, maybe casting next turn and putting a lot of pressure on. So Jim also has to decide if he wants to tick down this ring or decide if it's not time just yet. Because one thing Dom could do is draw another black source, deploy the Douthie Voidwalker, and then bolt the Teferi, giving him a Teferi himself, which could be very relevant, especially because Douthie has Shadow and is a very annoying threat to deal with.
100%.
Jim also getting in for one, very important.
Never miss that 1 damage.
Never miss the 1 damage. Jim going to clean up as well. Too many cards in hand.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have too much money.
The true Jim Wilkes experience. So an Undercity Sewer is the draw. Not quite what Dom wants to see, as it does come in tapped, but he's going to get to Surveil, and he's not going to be able to double spell this turn. This Douthie is looking real awkward here. Dom being punished by the green splash of the Tropical Island.
Yeah, absolutely. So the green splash for the Tropical Island, generally it's worth it, right? You do get some great stuff in response to, not in response to, for putting it into your deck, but, you know, there's costs as well.
Yeah, so Dom looks like he's just choosing to use it for the Deathrite Shaman, which is
that's
usually something you want to do is you want to have a Deathrite activation land. But some people choose to play Carpet Flowers.
I was going to say, I was expecting to see it in the sideboard here. So, you know, not what we found here. So, anyway, in this game, Deathrite Shaman down, Carpet of Flowers nowhere to be seen. probably not going to use that Grand Mana.
Yeah, Jim going with an end-of-turn Brainstorm to just sort of sculpt his hand a bit more, because he's got so much time, he wants to be mana efficient more than anything else. And try and start to get this game over with before Dom can get back in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, so what two we're going back on top? We don't have a fetch. We're going to see one of them again. So effectively, I don't know. Maybe let's find one we don't like. Maybe we want both of them, though.
Yeah. It's kind of like EI almost in this situation.
Very similar, yeah.
Yeah, end-of-turn Brainstorm is just bad EI.
Well, it costs one.
Yeah, I guess it does.
Yeah.
It's got that going for it.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Teferi ticking up.
Okay, and looking like the Corey Steel Cutter coming to the front of the hand here.
Yeah, Jim's also got an Intuition and a VV. I think Jim is just trying to work out if he has lethal right now.
I imagine that the team is having a little chat about it. Everyone else is done. So, you know, there is that moment in a team's trio tournament where you don't want to let anyone down if you have the kill already. And, hey, you can ask them.
Yeah, and Jim's been practicing this deck a fair bit as well, and Judas is also very good at coaching and very good at giving advice, as we saw in the previous game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just sometimes tells Jim, "Hey Jim, you've got lethal. Just do it.
Yeah,
just push the button."
Yeah, sit there and work it out.
All right, so Jim's also got a Thought Scour in hand. He's deep in the tank. Just making sure he's got everything correct.
Okay. So Teferi's already been ticked up. We've got 5 mana. Do we go for the mid-range plan, or are we casting an Intuition this turn?
So Intuition, the traditional, is Savine's Reclamation, Underworld Breach, and Lion's Eye Diamond. So if we go for the Intuition, we might just be given the Savine's Reclamation, which we could cast if we have another land drop.
Ah, so perhaps a mana away.
I think so. Jim's got a hand full of spells, which is not a bad place to be.
It's not a bad place to be. I don't feel very sorry for him at all, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
Jim maybe wants land, so I think he's choosing what he wants to do, if he's deploying the One Ring or deploying the Corey Steel Cutter. Because, like, one thing that could be really devastating is if Dom deploys a Douthie next turn and draws another counterspell and counters that ring on the way down.
Well, I mean, but you've got a lot of lines here, right? Because of the Corey Steel Cutter, we're only attacking for one with the Baleful Strix. I don't think we're going with the Cutter now.
Okay, so I think Jim is going for the Intuition plays, pitches the One Ring.
There you go.
So
There you go.
Doesn't want that Thought seized out of his hand when there's a Douthie in play. Baleful Strix is partly tapped.
I don't know what's going on there. I think it just got tapped. Oh, well, anyway, we'll find out.
All right. And so Jim also has like a VV. So the Douthie in response to it being Leyline Binding. Okay,
So
sure.
we've got Leyline Binding, but I mean, here's the other thing as well. So we have the Intuition, we have all those other options, but he could Ponder
He could.
because he's got the Teferi.
And that's the
That's
Intuition.
it.
That's lethal.
That's
it.
the
match. That is the.
There we go.
That is the winners decided of this tournament. After 7 rounds of Swiss, after 2 rounds of top 4,
Yep.
we have our winners, and they are the same winners as last year.
Yes, guys, tune in next year for no extra result. No, that was fantastic. So well played by that team. Judas particularly held us down in that middle seat, showed you guys a lot of really high quality magic, and really showed off the format of 7-point, and allowed us to see just how deep you can go on some of these decisions.
Yeah, there's so many micro fundamentals that go into this game and into this format that it's like really hard to showcase some of them sometimes.
Yeah.
But like good players, they really showcase all these tiny micro edges you get and just perfect sequencing.
Yeah, yeah. So the seasons change, the amount of players in a game change, but everything stays the same and Judas wins. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. We've had an excellent weekend here. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. I've been Sam Loy.
I've been Dylan Kakawa.
There we go. We'll see you guys next time on NTU Bizarre.
See you guys later.